Let me ask you this, Nehemia. Do you see any biblical tie-in to what's happening right now? I mean, is there something that you see that, I mean, you know, we've all, as Scott was saying just a moment ago, this isn't really anything more than good versus evil. And do you see any equations in the Bible that talks about what this is like, this is about?
So, you know, Lynell and I have spent a lot of time talking about Ezekiel 38 and Daniel 12. Daniel 12 starts out talking about how Israel will experience an event which will be worse than anything Israel experienced since it became a nation. And we said, you know, I mean, that means it's something worse than the Holocaust. Is this the beginning of that? I hope and I pray that it's not. This is certainly the worst thing Israel has experienced since the Holocaust, and it's not even close. Genesis 6 talks about how when God is looking at the world full of evil and decides to destroy the world with a flood, it says, and the land was filled with Hamas. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, Ted. Hamas is the Hebrew word for lawlessness, violence, corruption, evil. It literally is the word for evil. Now, in Arabic, it's some acronym for something to do with the Palestinian cause. But literally, it's the word Hamas. Because of Hamas, God decided to destroy the world with the flood. And now we can see Hamas is the most evil organization. You know, ISIS has been decapitated and still exists in some form or another. But its leader has been killed, and it's a shadow of its former self. And now we have Hamas as the new ISIS. Hamas is ISIS, and in some ways, I don't know if it's worse than ISIS. It's definitely worse in some ways than the Nazis. The Nazis tried to hide their crimes. Hamas is proud of it. They paraded raped women through the streets. And I'm not going to get graphic, but you can see the video, and it's clear that this woman was raped. And they're proud of it. They burned babies. They decapitated babies' heads. They took an 85-year-old woman, Yafa Hadar. They took her captive and were parading her through the streets in Gaza. These are evil people who are proud of their crimes.
They used her, if I'm not mistaken, as an advertisement for a pizza place. They used someone. I thought it was her. They did an advertisement, and that is the business. When that happened, Israel has zero tolerance for people who are praising what Hamas has done. They bulldozed that pizza place. They got everybody out, but they bulldozed that pizza place. It was in an Arab neighborhood, and they were using it to advertise their pizza.
Now, look, Israel has, as of this recording, Israel has called on the people, the civilians of northern Gaza, to leave so that they can go in and wipe out Hamas. The difference between us and them is they came by surprise and murdered entire families of civilians without any warning. We have no choice but to strike Hamas, and Hamas is using civilians as human shields. And it breaks my heart, all of the innocent Palestinians who are going to die because Hamas is using them as human shields. But their blood is upon the heads of Hamas who is doing that.
Well, listen, Nehemia and Lynell, we're glad that you're back home. We have been praying every day, and every person that watches Michael and A Rude Awakening have been praying for you guys' safety. We're definitely glad to have you back home, and we're just, we know you're exhausted. We know you're wore out. We thank you for this interview and letting our people here at A Rude Awakening know what you've gone through and what the people of Israel are going through. So we thank you so very much. And once again, thank you for being our boots on the ground when you were there to help distribute the monies that people have given for Israel there. And we're just so glad to have you back home.
That's
Thank you.
still set up. We actually started giving money already when we were there. So that pathway is there. So any money, like there was more money transferred this morning. I don't remember.
Yeah,
how much so
we've
far.
transferred already $45,000 to Yehuda Glick's organization. And he wrote to me, he said, this is changing lives. There are survivors who this is really helping and really blessing.
And we're giving those survivors, we're giving their name, Yehuda's name, to the survivors that are down that we're actually meeting. They're like, we need XYZ. We're like, you should contact Yehuda Glick because his group is the one that is, that is distributing it. But you can continue to give money through the way that you're doing it, and it will continue to get to him.
And a lot of the money that you guys have raised, you've transferred to us, and we sent it straight on to Yehuda Glick's organization. It's as far as I know, it's already, it has reached its target, and I know some of it's already been spent on the needs that people have there on the ground.
Well, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you so much. God bless. Thank you for doing that for us, and thank you for coming home safe.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody who's prayed for us and contacted us. Every single person that's made a comment on our Facebook or our TikTok, I'm really grateful, and I'm replying to every single one that I can. And I just want to say thank you. Your prayers were instrumental in getting us out.
I want to say something else. There's this kind of cliche today that when there's, an earthquake in Armenia, and you put up the flag of Armenia and you say, I stand with Armenia, I support Armenia, it doesn't really mean anything. In this case, it really does mean something. If you see a post on social media, if you see a video somewhere and you share it with your friends, you share it with people, it really does have an impact. There is a propaganda war being waged against Israel.
So true.
It's a moral equivalence. And the moral equivalence is to say, well, 1,300 Jews died, but more than 1,300 innocent civilians in Gaza have died. What they don't tell you is those innocent civilians are being used as human shields by Hamas. And it's horrible that those people died. But that actually needs to be racked up on the side of Hamas's atrocities. And it really does make a difference. We need to get the truth out there. We have people who are engaging in genocide denial in real time.
Yes.
We've got two things that we're dealing with. On the one hand, we have people who are justifying it and saying, well, they were in this open air prison called Gaza and they broke out and well, no. I mean, if Gaza is an open air prison, it's an open air prison like North Korea because it's ruled by fascist dictators who persecute the people who live under their rule, not because of Israel.
Right.
And so we have, on the one hand, people who are justifying the atrocities that took place and other people who are denying the atrocities, who are saying, oh, no, they didn't kill babies. They didn't rape. Those women raped themselves. Or it's just, it's fake news, right?
It's fake news. They're saying
right,
that.
Fake news, right. And look, Israel is very sensitive to sharing and publishing photos of people who have been mutilated. That's always been the policy of Israel. And the reason for that is it will undermine the morale of the people in Israel to see a decapitated baby. So we have to balance world public opinion with, we got people on the front line who are fighting. And if you show them the picture of a decapitated baby, the Hamas says they love death more than we love life. And we truly do love life. And so it really is demoralizing. And so we're kind of in a catch-22. So sharing the information, this video, any video you see exposing the truth is very important.
So important.
Writing to your congressman, writing to your senator if you're in the United States and telling them, we need you to support Israel. Please stand with Israel now. If you're overseas, whatever your government is, you need to let them know that they need to support Israel now. We need the support of the world. So Israel has the backing to do what needs to be done so that we can continue to exist, not just in Israel, but around the world. And look, if we don't stop Hamas, and if we don't show Hamas there's a price to pay when you do this kind of atrocity, this is going to be happening in New York. This is going to be happening in France. It's going to be happening all over the world because the terrorist organizations will see, hey, Hamas got away with this. We can get away with this too.
We are going to I just want you to know, Ted, you know my heart, because I've sent you an email about this. I sent this and explained it to you. My heart is to share what's happening in Israel through my family there, through any way that I can. And guys, when you see that we share something on social media that you've seen, like someone talk about it and say it's okay, please share those things. If you see someone on our forums and you follow us and you see them say free Palestine, remind those people this is not about Palestine being free. This is about a terrorist organization that is evil, that are destroying their own people, and they just want to see the Israel people, the Jewish people dead. They don't want them to exist any longer. Remind people of what you know. If God has put it in your heart to support and to help, then please, for this time, don't be silent. Be vocal. If God gives you the opportunity to talk about this, talk about it. Everyone, all of us as Christians and as Messianics, as Jewish people, we all need to join together and fight this propaganda war, because it's a social media thing. It's, if you look at what's being said on our videos that we put out and our TikToks and our Facebook, they're talking about this, and there are literally people that are Palestinians. There's Hamas that comes on there that tells me I'm going to be next. You know, we're getting those type of comments from them. They're not shy. They are running a battle, a war of propaganda on social media. Let's help fight.
Get the truth out.
Definitely.
Nehemia, Lynell, thank you. Words well spoken.